Hello and welcome. It is the third day of May 2017. My name is Derek, and today I want to talk about managing your portfolio, understanding your numbers. I'm going to go over my holdings of all my altcoins. I'm also going to talk about advantages in which gamblers, game theory competitors have, and I'll go over that at the end of this video. So for myself, I have about 15% of my Bitcoins easily ready to transfer to wherever, and about 46% in orders waiting to buy something. So about 60% in Bitcoin, 40% in altcoins. Good to have these ratios in knowledge, and I'm happy with these numbers. This was about 36% over a week ago, but because PivX hit my key level and markets had a nice retracement a couple of days ago, I was able to buy. So when markets go lower, you're going to buy more. For me, when markets go higher, I'm going to sell more. But I also like to go over my alt holdings, and I'm going to go over everything that I own percentage-wise. So 26% of my alts are PivX. That means over 10% of my BTC holdings are PivX. And then my second one being Extra Bytes, a code many of you probably haven't heard of. Some of you have. And the reason why that's number two was I was fortunate enough to be able to find and buy it at around 24 Satoshi. And now it's up to over around 150, as high as 250. Coin, I've been talking a lot about that. Edgeless, I say to myself, is this too high? And I think it is, actually. It's something I'm going to try to tail off a little bit. And my strategy will be over the next few sell orders, tame down on future buy orders, because I'm a little stubborn just because I like gambling so much and I feel I have an edge that I want to play within it. But the bottom line is I don't need as heavy of an exposure. Arc, Capricorn, Golem, and so many others. A lot of these are also just day trading ones where I see something that I like and then I buy it and I try to get a 6% gain, 20% gain, whatever it is that I'm looking to get. I think I'm way underexposed to a few of them, including EMC2, Einsteinium. And that's something I got to look at today. Where are my buy orders? Do I need to buy some right now? What's the best strategy for such? And just go over each of my codes and go over my buy orders, my sell orders, and see how I need to adjust such. And this is things you should do every so often. And you can even make like a checklist if you have something like this. Print this off, maybe look at this, look at Golden, look at NXT, and check mark it with when you're done. Maybe put notes of something you want to write on here. Little handy notes for yourself. And I don't do it, and I probably should, but that's a good idea anyway. And then just going over stuff. I think Stratus is too low as well. Edgeless, that's in a different exchange. I don't know why I didn't see that the first time and put them together. Moving on, Wild Beast Block. This is a very fun day trading one. That's one of my favorites. But just buying high, low. So I don't even know what the market is as far as bull, bearish, or sideways. But it's been very easy to profit by buying low and selling high on it. One of my favorites. Sia Coin, this is way, way, way too low. So this is one of the things I'm going to look at very soon to try into getting more exposure towards. Melon is Mr. Irrelevant. Well, that's what the NFL uses for the last draft pick because, I mean, everyone seemed to be more relevant than you because they were higher on the draft. And, well, the other 59 codes are more relevant as well. Litecoin near the bottom, and that's because I lost control of that one. And I mean I lost control as in I had a decent amount of tokens. It would have been in the top 15, top 15 at one point. And then I was just selling and selling and unable to buy back, and I haven't really done anything with it. This is either on a non-order or an insane sell order, so I'm really doing nothing with Litecoin, and I obviously haven't had any buy orders hit. So I haven't looked at the chart. I'm guessing it's in a beautiful one considering I haven't got a single buy order in it like forever. And that is the holding. So now I want to talk about game theory edges and give the best advice I can give to anybody who's in competition for any kind of event or whatever it is they're in game theory for. So this is what I was writing from a video on yesterday from Tai Zen with the Honorable Grandmaster of Cryptocurrencies for Oracle and the great LeonFood.com, the world-renowned LeonFood.com. A very good channel. I recommend watching it if you're in the cryptocurrency trading. Lots of great information. But in yesterday's video, they talked about 4 different types of edges. One having an early information edge, not necessarily insider edge. But an example, say you know how fiat currency is made. Not many people do. Maybe you understand that the price of the silver market has been heavily manipulated. Not many people do. Maybe you even know it has a price on a bullion market, even for that matter. That just is one example where I believe knowing what's going on in silver, holding the physical, is an early information edge, as is the case with Bitcoin. Technology edge, that's the edge in your equipment, in your resources around you, basically, and what you're able to do. So I think that's the best way of putting it. I'm even looking at technology like in the cavemen and the technology they had. Anything that's technology counts. A hammer's technology, for example. A mathematical edge, this is my largest edge, and that's being able to use analytics, use data. I mean, you're seeing some of my mathematical data that just from before on the holdings. Specific talent edge they were talking about. I furthermore talk about your IQ and what you can do based on your brain, what your brain can do. Not counting, I guess, mathematical edge, but if you're able to do something better than somebody else, then you got the edge. If you can, in basketball, Russell Westbrook has a special talent edge, as does LeBron James have a special talent edge. A couple other ones they didn't talk about. I think a big one is a networking edge on who you know, because this wouldn't even be on my list if I was not fortunate enough to know who I knew who was telling me about extra bytes. And when you are able to talk to the right people, be able to understand what they're saying, and you can get a very, very big edge within such. A monetary unit. Someone gave me a message, said this one might be my friend. Well, it's number 8 on my list right now. So it's done pretty well, and it's a very profitable code. And awareness and experience, that should be going without saying. For example, I've been looking at charts for about 9.5 years. That's experience. I've been trying to analyze them for most of that time as well. That's experience. And I've been doing this crypto trading for the last 70 or so days. Well, I got more experience, but I'm gaining a lot there as well. But as far as the best advice I could give anybody in any kind of game, any kind of competition, is first understand your strengths and understand your weaknesses. Understand your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. And within yourself, you want to maximize your strengths to the best of your ability. That's what's going to win you the game. And minimize your weaknesses. Try to avoid them in whichever situations, if at all possible. Try to strengthen them or tune them up a little bit, if at all possible. And then your opponents, minimize their strengths if you can. People say you can't contain or you can't stop Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky. You can only contain them. Well, that's maximizing their strengths. Minimize their weaknesses. Or maximize their weaknesses is what you want to do. So say one of their strengths is reading their opponents. Well, how do you minimize their strength? Well, if you know that they're going to be looking to exploit one of your weaknesses, well, maybe you might want to tune that up a little bit or try to find another game theory counterplay towards that. But it's all about understanding what you're good at, really aggressively focusing most towards that. If there's something you're not so great at, don't do it. So for myself, I don't spend much time going over fundamental analysis because it's my weakness. I spend a lot of time going over mathematical data analysis because that's my strength. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a magnificent day. Bye-bye.